Dolly in the back, sunroof top, digging in the scene with the rideshare lean. Woo-hoo. What up, folks? Once again, it is your boy Tim with another ride sharing video. Hopefully this one is good news. Certainly a company to keep your eye on. Now, there's been a million startups we've discussed over the years as rideshare drivers in hopes that we would find some light at the end of the tunnel because Uber and Lyft continues to treat us like shit. Nevertheless, when I hear of a company that may have potential, I want to bring it to you so we can discuss it in the comments. After all, we're all here to make money, and this is a discussion about exactly that. Now, this company is called InDrive, and what has sparked my attention is the suggestion that drivers get to keep 100% of the profits. But I'll explain to you, not necessarily from 100% of the profit standpoint, but why I like their business model. Certainly a hell of a lot better than Uber and Lyft, and I'm sure you will too. Now, this comes from a Fox Business article. Uber and Lyft get new competition in rideshare battle. So another company. Now, the difference between this company and other startups, which is what has piqued my interest, is because this isn't a brand new startup. They've been around since 2012. They are currently operating in 48 countries, and as of 2021, their valuation has been at $1 billion, over $1 billion. So this is not a small company. They're just new to the American market. Now, in addition to that, they claim to have over 175 million downloads to their app. And that's the biggest issue we have when trying to get involved with new startups, is they don't have the customers. It's very easy to steal rideshare drivers. The companies treat us like shit. They don't pay us a damn thing. So it's not hard for a ride-sharing startup to come and get drivers' interest. We ain't eating, period. We're not eating. Probably 80 to 90% of rideshare drivers are interested in something else coming along and helping folks out. The other 10% is trying to quit already. So we definitely need something to come along and challenge Uber or Lyft. They have a monopoly on the rideshare market, and they are benefiting wholesale from it, treating everybody like shit. So 175 million folks have downloaded the app, but that's worldwide. So in America, they're currently getting a foothold in southern Florida. So you're talking about Miami, probably Naples, Fort Myers, that area. But I'm saying this to pay attention because if they're in 48 other countries, obviously their intention is to expand in America. And I do have some viewers that watch in the southern Florida area. Now, here is the business model that piqued my interest and I wanted to bring on to you. The way they have it set up, because they want to create a model in which the passengers and drivers get to negotiate a price. So it's none of this bullshit where Uber just sends you something, tells you this is what we're paying for, and you're looking at the app like, what the fuck? How am I going to drive 10 miles for $2? They're not doing that. The passenger enters a pickup and drop-off address, and you as a driver will see that in the app, and they will have the price that they are willing to pay for you picking them up point A and dropping them off at point B. As a driver, here is the kicker. You get a chance to make a counteroffer. So if it's a trip and you feel like the pay is bullshit, you can send them back and say, you know, $2 more or whatever, $5 more, whatever the hell it may be. Or in some cases, we all have had passengers that try to get us to go out of the whole damn city to another town. We all love to drive. Most of us are willing to take you wherever the hell you want to go if you pay us properly. But unfortunately, because we have no control or say-so over the pay at all, hell of a lot of passengers are not delivered to their location simply because Uber or Lyft takes so much out of the fare that it doesn't leave enough for the driver to even consider doing it. In this case, because the driver can now negotiate and issue counter offers, a hell of a lot more passengers may actually get to their location. Let's say a passenger wants to go somewhere 70 miles away, and for that trip, the driver's only getting paid $40. Well, most drivers, if you're about your shit, you're not going to drive 40 miles for 20 or 70 miles for $40, because you got to come back, and you're going to come back empty. So you're doing 150 miles for $40, then go to hell with that. But in this game, you can now tell the passenger, I need 70, I need 80, and the passenger can make that decision. Oftentimes, I would submit to you, certainly when passengers need to get out of town, particularly if it's an emergency, or maybe they couldn't get a rental car, or maybe their flight was delayed and they need to take this trip, most of them would probably be willing to sweeten the pot by $20, $30 or more. But because of the way Uber and Lyft have things set up, they don't have the ability to convey that to the driver until you get one of these drivers that are willing to show up. This makes it a hell of a lot better for both the passenger and the driver, because you're backing the ride-sharing company up out of the equation. They're not all up in your damn business. So I do favor this. Let me know what you think in the comments. Now, here is something that really, really piqued my interest, really got my attention, some shit you don't normally hear from Uber and Lyft. The company says this model boosts a driver's earning potential by allowing them to only accept trips and fares they choose. Since when has Uber and Lyft gave a damn about you and what you want to choose? In fact, in most cases, you start declining, canceling, or refusing too many trips, and Uber and Lyft start coming up with all types of punishments because they don't want your ass doing that. So to have a company introduce themselves from a standpoint that we want to boost driver earnings and give you the ability to choose, hey, I'm all about choice. Shout out to the Supreme Court for that fucker, but I'm all for right to choose. So I really like what they're saying. Now, keep in mind, I'm not going to be naive and fail to admit, Uber and Lyft started out saying a whole lot of good shit too. So understand that even though I'm suggesting this, just be aware. These companies do sometimes lie. I don't know enough about this company to accuse them of that, but we know Uber and Lyft told a host of lies. In fact, Uber started out in my market talking about drivers were averaging $90,000 a year. Ended up having to pay $20 million to the Federal Trade Commission because it was proven that they were fucking lying out their ass on that. And we know the lies have continued on. Upfront pricing, shared rides. They told us all of that shit would be profitable, and we know it has not been. So take it with a grain of salt, but this InDrive, this company in Southern Florida, I do believe it is worthy of, taking note to, because I like what they're offering. What do you think in the comments? Have you seen any other rideshare startup that you feel is worth noting? I mean, there's Rides out there. There's Hub. I did a video on them. They're operating in the Arizona area. No one has really gotten a foothold in the entire country. Here's why. Uber and Lyft have really shown anyone else getting in startup that you don't have to really be that nice to the drivers. Say whatever the hell you got to say to get them to come on board. But Uber and Lyft has shown that you can really, and I mean really, treat drivers like shit and they will still show up to work. So even if you open up a new ride-sharing company, eventually you're going to have a greedy CEO or greedy shareholders or somebody. And Uber and Lyft has already proven you can continue taking money from these folks and they will keep showing up to work. So the business model of Uber and Lyft really has hurt us. There are drivers that are out here driving and losing money every day, yet they keep showing up and taking trips. You don't think Uber and Lyft notices that these folks are so loyal to being able to say they have flexibility that they're willing to do it at a loss and destruction to their vehicles? That is what is happening. That even if you give them zero in profit, they will keep showing up just because they can say, I'm flexible. It's fucked up, folks. It is a fucked up world. But I want to present this to you. What do you think about InDrive? And in the comments, if you are aware of other startups in your area, because none of them are really nationwide at this point, drop it in the comments. Love to hear from you. It's your boy Tim. Subscribe to the channel. Click the like. See you in the next video.